Okay, are we recording? We are. Hello, everybody. My name is Jason. You might be wondering, what is this contraption behind me? And this, my friends, is the beetle. Yes, indeed, the beetle. I've kind of abandoned the armadillo project. We're no longer going to be working on the armadillo, if that's not obvious. So instead, I've decided to shift my direction towards this creation. This is the beetle, which is more going to be the Beetle 1 before I start making a tornado intercept vehicle properly. Now, this is sort of like what Sean Casey's doing with his vehicle, which is basically taking a random civilian vehicle and just modifying the hell out of it, which is what I'm doing. Now, you might be seeing this and be thinking, well, Jason, what about the armadillos? Thought you loved them. I do, but not that much. So I've decided to not really abandon, but sort of leave that project for now, kind of leave it to rest. Now, as you can see, it's not 100% complete. Now, I will mention, this is actually sort of a concept for real life. As soon as I get my truck, which is going to be this exact model of truck, I'm going to be doing this. Because, yes, maybe. That's if I have enough money. Now, in total, I don't know how much this vehicle actually cost. In the thing, it says it costs around $85,000. In real life, I think this is going to cost around $100,000. But that's because it's not even finished. Now, some features on this, kind of like the other vehicles, is the deployment system. Now, it's not going to go down to the ground to deploy. It's actually going to have panels behind all this caged armor that you see, which only expands to the front because the back really doesn't have much to it. And that's because it's not really finished. On the back here, I will actually have a thing where there will be a deployable radar and possibly rooms for probes. I'll also be taking one of the seats from inside there, turning it into a race seat, and putting it in the back. Also, another feature, on the sides here, specifically on like right here, there will be drills. We're making this like the tornado wrangler, which I actually was thinking about actually adding 4 to here, or 2 on each, or 1 on each side here, and then 1 on each side over there. I don't know yet. But another feature will be covers for the wheel hubs. Now the wheel hubs, covers for the wheels. Now something about that is they will be covering up the wheel halfway, which may or may not become a problem. A very transparent problem when you look at the turn radius. Now, will you be turning while this thing's deployed? Hopefully not. But I might add a issue or a thing where the flap or the lower flap is up, and when you deploy it, you have to sort of bring it down. And as you can see, this thing is decently fast, which, yeah, and it has no armor. Why is this? Again, this is not supposed to be a full-on interceptor. If you end up in the tornado, you end up in the tornado. Not a big issue. This is more of a get up close and personal and hope you don't get touched by them. Now, some features, like the lights, I've actually completely decided to continue. As you can see, they're pretty small lights, which I still need to, get their stuff, but also beacons. Hazards, which I will be adding a lot of hazards. Mainly just on the front, back, and possibly some on the side, which, as you can see, don't go down all the way because, again, I still need to add the lower roll cage, sort of, proving that that's where the bottom of the thing should start. Now, something about this is, since this thing is not 100% complete yet, I actually don't know, and this is where you guys are coming into play. Even if you have not watched my channel, even if you just viewed this video, please just comment down something. Just something simple like a design idea or something like that. Something I'd like to do is give this a mesonet. Now, you might be thinking, what is a mesonet? Well, it's those things that record wind speed, and if you got one of those advanced ones, them fancy ones that they have on newer interceptors, pressure. What do I mean? Well, air pressure. If you don't know, around a tornado, the air pressure can actually change, and it's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it's weird. And as much as I would love to say that I don't want this being too high-tech, I might have to. Now, something that this thing will have is a roof-mounted camera turret. What I mean by this, kind of like the IMAX looking thing that I have on the Armadillo 2, but it's operated by the guy right here. Oh, and there will be different stuff in the interior. Now, am I saying I'm going to add a roll cage to the interior, like I have on the outside? No. Yeah, no, we're leaving the front like that, or the inside like this. But there will be side panels that kind of go up and down. And I say this with full caution because I actually have not tested this. But it's going to come from back here where there's going to be panels that fold forward to cover up the back door. And this one, well, I'm going to have to be a little creative. Because I was thinking about just adding them here. Then I realized, kind of can't, because the way Brick Rig's collision works. So I might actually just make a rail system that's the entirety of this that just goes to the front. Now for here, I will have one of those panels on the front here that go down. The only way you'll be able to see is through a camera, or maybe I'll have the debris thing on one side. This is to protect the driver and all of the people who are riding. And despite the doors not opening, I decided to make it somewhat realistic and not cover up the doors. Believe me, this is a feature I decide was probably the best idea. Now, the name beetle mainly just comes from its strong, well, shape. You might actually realize that it's actually pretty well modeled for something I actually, did. Now, the chassis is made by somebody else. I will definitely give credit to the creator of this, main body, but all the modifications are done by me. Not a single person, not another person has worked on this. Kind of like the other builds, but instead of it being a workaround, I'm taking my time with this, which means this thing will not be uploaded to the public, because I've already found the armadillo stolen, so I will probably release a completely unfinished version. Hell, maybe even this version I'll release, but I'm not releasing the full release one. Mainly just because, Now, I am putting a watermark on this creator, if you see this. I will put a original buy, but I'm going to put my own watermark sort of somewhere on this to indicate it's mine. Now, this watermark, I'm going to put thousands of in one specific spot, so then you just can't delete it. Because I'm going to make them all different colors. No, but seriously, if I find this creation re-uploaded to the workshop, I am going to kill the person who did that, first off. That's a joke, of course. But mainly because this actually has a feature that I really enjoy, which is this, the tailgate. I'm definitely going to be expanding on this. The tailgate won't just be controlling this, it will actually be controlling a door here too. Which, yay. But mainly with the cage. I love this cage. I worked so hard to get it done, and if I see this thing re-uploaded to the workshop as somebody else's creation, I'm going to be really sad, because this took me around 2 to 3 hours just to figure out. As you can see, it's pretty well put together, actually, and that surprised me because I'm not known for making things good. So this being like this made me so happy. Now, right now, and I will add attachment points, but right now the only attachment point is the front bumper. I will be changing that from being just the front bumper to, in general, a spot. Possibly here, because that actually not bad, especially knowing that's connected to the mirrors, which I guess are technically connected to the roll cage as well. Which, no, this thing is not made for towing vehicles, towing stuff. Although, I could, theoretically, I gotta get a little closer. Yeah, I could theoretically put a trailer hitch, but I don't know for what reason. Now, again, with this thing, there's not going to be any special things like hydraulics added to the wheels. I've already dealt with that in many of my creations, and just took off the entire chassis and just did that. I'm not doing that again. So vehicles from now on are just going to not have modified chassis like that. It's all going to be armor that folds down or slides down. I am not dealing with hydraulics again. Now, upcoming versions of this. I do see upcoming versions. That is 100% a possibility. The versions, I'm not going to discuss too much, but there may or may not be a version coming out already that involves this getting a tad bit of an upgrade. Maybe additional armor. Who's to say? But thank you all for watching. If you guys see a stolen creation of this already on the internet, probably because I released the work in progress shortly after this video, although I don't know. If you see the full version on the workshop, which I will have videos of the full version, I won't be discussing the full version at all, nor will I be showcasing it as much. But if you see a copy of the full version on the workshop, please notify me. Also, please comment down below if you guys actually really, think that I should expand more on this specific idea. Now, am I saying this truck? No. It can be literally any truck. Just tell me the name, and I'll do it. But I will be definitely doing more of the sort of outer roll cages, which a vehicle I actually took inspiration from to do this was the original Tornado Wrangler, believe it or not. So we have, I think this one has it. Not the one I wanted to pull up, no. There was a version somewhere that has this basically as the entire body. Kind of like what I have. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, here's the one by my favorite creator, Team Try. I will say he did a wonderful job for this, and I might steal some ideas for some things like the mesonets, which I'm still trying to figure out how the mesonets even work because, like, I'm confused. So, yeah. But besides that, something else I want to work on is maybe my own Doppler on wheels, kind of like this one. Not exactly like that one, but, like, you know, take a truck and rip off the back and things like that. Can I not find... Ah, there it is. So, the Tornado Hunter, this. This doesn't have it completely over the body, but it does have it on the front, sort of like this. And that's kind of what I want to do for mine. But instead of it being just the front like this, I'm having it be the entire body, because I've already had chances of this thing just spontaneously combusting, which is the reason why I'm going to add more connection points. This one actually, I believe, only has the roof, and I think it's connected by the bumper. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's definitely connected by the bumper. But as you can see, it has this cool detail, which I will not be adding on this. Maybe. Now, another thing it has is this, which I know that most vehicles have this to prevent stuff from getting underneath it. But again, this will have an entire skirt system that comes down. This will not be necessary. And, well, his is a Ford, mine is a Chevy. And I only chose a Chevy because, well, number one, speed, but also because size. Let me just show you real quick. The size of this thing. Oh my god, hold on, wait, I might actually have to pull it up here. Okay. Is really that matters. Now, yeah, it is slightly smaller, but if I took off the entire cage system, it would be really small. And the size is where I want it. Yes, it's small. But holy hell, is it gonna be heavy? Now, something that this thing will have that most creations won't, which I say most creations, upcoming creations won't, which is quite a surprise for me, especially knowing that, yeah, oh wait, okay, wait, here's a, no, this is the exact same, is actually this, the drill system here, which, hold on, we're going to just see a few things. If I do this, you can see that, okay, I might have to, as you can see, there's a drill system. This one's not the best example, but as you can see, it's like this. And this is what I might import. This sort of drill system. But I'm not really known for doing that. And another thing you can probably see with this guy's creation, that isn't mine, that is, he has trailer hitch. More specifically, one of these Google trailer hitches. Now, this is cool. I love it. Don't get me wrong. Which is kind of the inspiration for this. The red color, not so much. I might switch the color from this being red. But the in general just feel of this vehicle is good. And again, another common theme I've seen is a lot of Tornado Interceptors have been built from Fords or Rams. I have barely seen any made by or made with Chevys. I get it, Chevys are one of the more hated vehicles in some people's opinion. But in my opinion, I don't think it really matters the truck. I think it's more of how you use it, which is kind of the inspiration why this is like the way it is. It's not supposed to be strong. It's not supposed to be, you know, a vehicle that's designed for high measured things. It's just a truck with protection precautions to prevent it from, well, dying while chasing. Now, another thing, when I set the radar, it's going to have a deployable radar from the back here. It's going to go up, and, well, I'm probably going to make a spin. I don't know, though. And a mesonet. Now, a thing with this vehicle... Whoops, wrong button. The thing with this vehicle is... it's... hard to work on. What I mean mainly is, when I was working on this originally, I was mainly thinking of just adding a front bumper and calling it a day. And then I got invested. And then I continued. And then I didn't stop. Then I stopped to make this video, but besides that, as you can see, actually, the back bumper goes to the back, and then kind of ends abruptly. But that's because the trailer hit, or the tailgate here. Now, I was thinking about adding a PS4 armor over the tailgate. Then I realized that would obstruct literally everything else. So maybe, instead of the tailgate containing, like, everything, what if the tailgate only contained a part of the armor that was on here, and then the rest of it would go up with that door? Which may be a thing I might do. I just have to take into consideration, you know, the point where it, it does this, which is more just going to be towards this bump, because, again, I don't want to modify this too much. Now, another thing I want to say is the original creator did a really nice job with this, so I'd like to credit him, which I think, let me see, is GS Skull. He made this thing, and it is absolutely wonderful of a truck. I would recommend you guys go search up was it GS Skull? I am terribly sorry, I'm not very good with names. Yes, G Skull. Sorry, I didn't mean to put the S, but G Skull. Please, everybody go to G Skull and download this truck, or really any of his vehicles. These are honestly pretty cool. I think I actually have a lot of his creations. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I basically pulled up the community tab. Yeah, no, I have almost all his vehicles that aren't cars. But yeah, he makes some of the best trucks, and I think it's cool. Now, am I saying you should only use his vehicles? No. Am I recommending it? Yeah. The vehicles he makes are really cool, and honestly, with... Ooh, the Raptor. Sorry. With the amount of creations that there are, a lot of it is trucks, and a lot of his trucks are very cool. I have his cars, I have his trucks. He just makes a lot of cool things. And, well, a lot of his things, well, many people wouldn't like to modify. I'm putting this video out here, and I don't know if he has a YouTube account. More likely chance not. But I will be adding the original creator. Which, another feature I want to do is interception, or there's things that, when you intercept a tornado, markings for when you intercept a tornado. That's what I was trying to say, or attempting to say. But, let me give you an example. I believe my Tiv 1 is still up here somewhere. But it doesn't seem like it. And I want to use the Tiv 1 as a specific example. Because, well, that's the only one that I had that really would make sense. No, not the Wiv. The Tiv. Sorry, I've not lifted my finger from the W key, apparently. But, oh my god, please. Okay, so we have let's go this one. These markings right here. Those are tornado markings. I believe red or higher. Sorry, red is the highest. It'll go maybe, I don't know. I forgot. But as you can see, there's a lot of deployment things. I will not be having this many, but as you can see, it is pretty big, which is the reason why I decided to not make an entire vehicle like this. Now, I'd like to mention, something people like to bring up is that the Tiv was, or the original Tiv was, just built from ground up. It wasn't completely. It did have a vehicle front right here, but I think that's because, they don't want to tear apart the rest. But this is exactly what I'm talking about, this. And this will be controlling, sort of like this sort of computer style, will be controlling basically most of the things on the front here. Now, cameras. Okay. Camera-wise, there will be GoPros. Functionality-wise, I don't know yet. I wanted to make GoPros just mounted everywhere, which I wanted to have two cameras. One facing the driver to make it, like, sort of like facing the interior of the cab, and then one facing outside the cab, sort of like this, like a dashboard cam. Hold on, wait. I got a message. Nothing important. And a few maybe on the top, sort of like maybe one attached to this, sort of facing this way, or like a hood cam. I don't know yet. I definitely want like a camera up on the roof that can be turned and stuff like that. Maybe a GoPro like right here. It could be like rotated, things like that. But yeah, That's basically all I need to show today. I don't know why I went into full detail about things. Things that you'll see in these common tropes, though, is a carbon fiber root or a hood, and possibly some more carbon fiber parts. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm gonna have to go open the program to stop the video because every time I try stopping the video with the button, it doesn't work. But thank you all for watching, and like, subscribe, comment, and tell me what you guys want to see next for this possible series. Goodbye.